Jack and the Beanstalk, the timeless fairy tale told by Abbott and Costello. Their first of two color films, and this 4K restoration from 3D Film Archive packs more punch than Abdullah. Production began on Jack and the Beanstalk in July 1951 through Lou Costello's Exclusive Productions, and premiered the following April, kicking off a 15-city promotional tour. Being in the public domain, this movie has a ton of releases out there. I have a handful and can confirm that, yeah, it desperately needed this manicure. Even being an Abbott and Costello fan for years, I wasn't aware of this movie until I found this lazy copy in a bin at Walmart for $1. They spelled Abbott wrong. I ended up loving this movie despite the quality being horrendous. The color is faded, the picture is baked with dirt and scratches, and it's even missing footage. I also own this Legends of Laughter DVD set, mostly for the 14 Colgate Comedy Hour episodes, but it also includes Beanstalk. From what I can tell, this seems to be the same print, just with the added annoyance of a watermark in the bottom corner of the screen. Thankfully, this release from Good Times seems to have the footage intact, but it just begs the question, where did all these prints come from? The movie's rights were eventually sold off in the mid-50s, television started airing it in 1962, and along the way this film just took a lot of abuse. But in 1980, Bob Fermanack, official Abbott and Costello archivist, salvaged the only surviving footage of the original 35mm Eastman color camera negative, produced a Laserdisc release for Image Entertainment in 1993, and come October 2020, we finally get a complete 4K preservation scan Kickstarter for a DVD and Blu-ray release. By this time, the original 35mm master materials no longer survive, so they'd be sourcing the 35mm Super Cinecolor positive print elements instead. Ask me what that means.
Go ahead, ask me. I don't know.
But it doesn't even matter, because with an initial goal of $7,500 being met in just over 2 hours, we're pretty confident in a quality restoration. Any backer pledge with $25 or more would get their name in the restoration credits, and other reward levels ranged from a signed copy by Bob Fermanack, collectible film cells from Jack and the Beanstalk and Abbott and Costello Meet Captain Kidd, and an original 78 record of Who's on First. According to an interview with Costello, roughly 26.5 minutes was cut from the movie, but some of it was later recovered in the late 70s. This brings me to stretch goal number 1. An extra $500 would restore the last surviving deleted sequence where Bud and the villagers see the Beanstalk for the first time. Other deleted sequences would use production photos to help recreate the scenes as a bonus feature. An additional $750 for stretch goal number 2 buys studio time to master the 7-minute 1952 Jack and the Beanstalk children's recording from an original 15 IPS analog tape. For stretch goal 3, $1,200 unlocks 15 trailer rarities that have never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. I mentioned in my Africa Screams video that Abbott and Costello never made a 3D film, and they didn't, but they almost did, in 1953. The movie Fireman Save My Child was supposed to have them in the lead roles, but Lou came down with rheumatic fever and they were replaced with Hugh O'Brien and Buddy Hackett since a lot of second unit footage was already shot with Bud and Lou's stunt doubles. So the trailer for this movie is included as well with 2 commentary tracks. And finally, stretch goal number 4, and my personal favorite, $1,500 secures a restoration of a Colgate Comedy Hour television segment from February 21st, 1954, where Bud and Lou briefly meet the creature from the Black Lagoon, to promote Universal's latest and ultimately last classic monster, which premiered only 9 days earlier. The team never made a full movie meeting the Gill Man, so this is all we ever got. All stretch goals were met, and in the end, the campaign collected over $32,000 and was expected to be released in July 2021, but that didn't happen. Firstly, COVID caused some low staffing issues from a European archive that the restoration team was waiting on for a 4K scan. They faced some image focus problems, leading to additional test scans being requested. Then by July, they finally received the 4K scan from the UK on a 10TB hard drive. That was corrupted, so they had to recover 9 reels from that, and by the first week of August 2021, actual restoration finally began, followed by some QC issues.
Okay, I'll wait.
I went through all the campaign updates, but I'm not even going to try and decode all the technical jargon that just makes your brain just want to... So let's just say that this series of unfortunate events would give Lemony Snicket a run for his money. But that's all part of the unpredictability that goes along with restoring a 70-year-old film. I did, however, pick up some fun facts along the way, like these boots worn by Buddy Bear, former boxer who played the Giant, being the same ones that Glenn Strange wore when playing the Frankenstein monster. Once again, Stuart McKissick creates some original artwork for the cover that I really like, and I wonder if it was inspired by this VHS cover. That's really the only reason I bought this tape. I know it's an inferior print, but I needed it as a counterpart to the Blu-ray because I'm just sick. Bob Fermanack also offered a bonus option exclusive to backers, which was this 3D lenticular cover for an extra $12, and, remember what I said about me needing things. On July 7th, we finally got word that the discs were finished, my copy arrived on the 19th, and the restoration went on to celebrate with a big screen premiere on July 24th, 2022 in New York City at the Roxy Cinema. The audio restoration is also very well done, especially noticeable when it comes to the musical numbers. What was once a muddy-sounding mess is now polished into something that I can actually pick up the words to. There are over 2.5 hours of special features here. During a podcast interview with Bob Furmanek and co-producer Jack Theakston, they shared that only about 3 minutes worth of space remained on the disc. It's packed. A couple highlights being a 1940 live performance of Who's on First, David Strollery, who played Daniel the Little Problem Child, providing a commentary bit, and Lou's youngest daughter, Chris Costello, recording a special introduction to the film. I was watching the deleted scenes and was surprised to find that some of them looked very familiar, and I immediately realized it was because I've seen them before. I even own them on these DVD prints I mentioned earlier. When the film went public domain in the late 70s, there was a version that circulated that used reels from a first trial preview print that included scenes that weren't meant to be in the movie. I've seen this movie so many times, it's just crazy to me to find that this whole time these scenes were meant to be left out. And it's honestly better without them. So this release provides the original theatrical cut that Costello intended. And for many, at least for me, it's really a brand new viewing experience. The movie just flows better. And that just about wraps it up. I'm so happy to be a part of this restoration, and having my name in the credits of an Abbott and Costello movie is something I never thought I'd see. This is positively the definitive release of Jack and the Beanstalk, and it's never looked better in its life.
Jack and the Beanstalk will long remember when he shinnied up the stalk to beard a